等好久，还有个干。
Two powerful natural disasters struck simultaneously, causing chaos and devastation in different corners of the world. In Moscow, Russia, a hurricane named Storm Edgar unleashed its fury, while in China, the largest flood recorded in the Guilin section of the Guilin River surged through the city. Both events left behind a trail of destruction and tested the resilience of those affected. On Thursday, the Russian capital, Moscow, was struck by a devastating hurricane named Storm Edgar. The powerful storm left the city in chaos, with residents urgently seeking shelter from the intense winds and torrential rain. The hurricane, which unleashed wind speeds of up to 160 kilometers per h, was a natural disaster of unprecedented scale for the city. Moscow's bustling streets turned into scenes of turmoil as Storm Edgar hit with full force. The hurricane's intensity far exceeded weather forecasts, catching many off guard. By mid-morning, heavy rain had escalated into a relentless deluge, exacerbating the storm's destructive impact. The powerful winds swept through the city center, creating a spectacle akin to a tornado. The storm's fury was captured and shared widely on social media, with users posting dramatic footage of the chaos. Trees were uprooted and cars overturned, transforming familiar urban landscapes into scenes of devastation. Traffic came to a standstill as fallen trees and debris blocked major roads, leaving dozens of vehicles damaged. The relentless wind also tore off roofs and severely damaged building facades, adding to the destruction. Moscow's infrastructure suffered significant blows. Power outages were reported across various districts, plunging many neighborhoods into darkness. The storm disrupted daily life, halting public transportation, including metro and bus services. Flooded streets and submerged underpasses further impeded travel, making it difficult for emergency services to respond swiftly. Despite the overwhelming challenges, Moscow's emergency services worked tirelessly to address the crisis. They received countless calls for assistance and were on the ground, helping those affected by the storm. Airports were not spared either, with numerous flight delays and cancellations adding to the city's woes. In the aftermath of Storm Edgar, the resilience of Moscow's residents shone through. Neighbors banded together to clear debris and assist each other. As Moscow begins to recover, the long-term effects of the hurricane are becoming apparent. The financial cost of repairing the extensive damage to infrastructure and properties is expected to be substantial. Meanwhile, on the same day, China faced its own catastrophe. The Guilin section of the Guilin River experienced the largest flood since measured data was recorded. The floodwaters surged through the city, causing widespread flooding and disruption. In the early morning of June 20th, the Guilin section of the upper reaches of the Guilin River saw its highest water levels in recorded history. The flood caused significant flooding in some areas along the river in the city.
墙都冲倒了，快打电话叫救援了！快来！这个地方还能待吗？我操！
你们怎么会搞这个地方来那么深？
The water level at the Guilin hydrological station reached 146.14 meters, just above the warning level, but significantly lower than the flood peak earlier in the day. As the day progressed, the floodwaters began to recede in an orderly manner. However, the impact of the flood was felt throughout the region. In Shexian County, Anhui Province, the water level at the Yuliang hydrological station of the Lianjiang River rose to 118.4 meters, surpassing the highest water level recorded during the heavy rains and floods of 1977. The water level continued to rise at a rate of 20 to 30 centimeters per hour. The flooding caused widespread disruption in the affected areas. Roads were submerged, homes were inundated, and communities were cut off from essential services. The local authorities issued warnings and advisories, urging residents to evacuate to safer areas. Emergency services were deployed to assist in the evacuation and provide aid to those in need. Despite the challenges, the response from the local communities and authorities was swift and coordinated. Rescue operations were carried out to save those trapped by the floodwaters. Temporary shelters were set up to accommodate the displaced residents, providing them with food, water, and medical assistance. The flood in Guilin and Shexian County highlighted the vulnerability of the region to extreme weather events. The local government has since initiated measures to strengthen flood defenses and improve disaster preparedness. The financial toll of the flood is expected to be significant, with extensive damage to infrastructure, homes, and agricultural lands. Both Moscow and China faced unprecedented challenges on June 20th, 2024. While Moscow was battered by the fierce winds and rain of Storm Edgar, China contended with record-breaking floods. The two disasters, though different in nature,